back to base camp, WNC. Been a while with all the stuff I've had going on in my life and the family. But as you can see, we're down here at the farm. It's almost middle of April here. Been a long, cool, wet winter. They're setting out watermelon plants right now. We'll walk on up the road. They are in full swing of picking strawberries. That's the crew picking. All the customers are on the other side of the farm right now. That field over there is open. Let's walk up the aisle here a little bit, and they're going to put 4 different kinds of watermelon out. We're going to do 4 beds of each one all the way up here, but they spent all morning planting tomatoes. They put out about 8 varieties of tomatoes for the farm. Well, they got everything, all the squash set out here. They've had the irrigation on. Like to set that on about 4 or 5 days ahead, turn the water on 24 hours a day and get the beds good and wet. As the old saying goes, you know, you sow dry, meaning you put seeds in when it's dry, and you set wet, which means you set plants out when it's wet. And they got some more beds to fill in here and there. And they got tomatoes there. They've got tomatoes from there all the way down to here. They've got all that to set out yet. Keep them busy. But here we like to go by planting based on soil temperature, and we really don't set anything out and seeds out until it's about 55 degrees. Or as the old people would say, you never plant your garden until the blackberries, which is all this here, until the blackberries bloom. So the blackberries are in full bloom. So according to the rule of all the old people, all the elders, it's safe to plant your vegetable garden. We'll get done, we'll walk over the strawberry fields and look at all these blackberries. They've gone in here and edged and rooted up all underneath the beds here now with a new machine that comes in here and tills up against it to keep the weeds down. And I was hoping they'd have that thing running and I'd film it while I was here. Well, I'm here from the mountains, and of course now when I left the other day it was almost 30 degrees. Here it's 80. We even got Farmer Walter back on the tractor. He felt sorry for him because they're not getting this done as fast as what we used to get it done, so he figured he'd come and get on the tractor and drive everybody crazy with the attitudes. So setting watermelons out there far enough to plant. There's just 2 guys on the planter and they're planting every other one, so I'll show it to you as they turn around and head back the other direction. It's just fun and exciting to watch them plant. It's so much more fun to watch them plant than to be the one planting. To kind of show you something they're doing a little bit different this year, they're taking string and pulled both sides of the plant in. As you can see there, it's fairly narrow now compared to the shoots used to hang way out into the aisle. They've got them tied in, trying to keep them inside the wires of the trellis, making them grow up. Also gives them ability to be able to get in here with that machine and kind of knock all the weeds down and whatnot. Don't use any herbicide or anything around there, but we've tried them with black plastic, we've tried them with filter fabric, tried them with everything else, and nothing really works because, of course, this is a long-term planting crop. It doesn't move. We have gone to spray water. Comes off the line, goes into that little thing, and that's a little spray that projects it into the plant. We have a problem with rabbits chewing all holes in all the drip tape that lays on the ground, so this gets them up out of the way. You lose a hose every now and then, a little spaghetti hose, but it ain't too bad. But the blackberries are probably in better shape right now than they have been for a while. Took quite a bit this winter to get all this stuff done, but like I said, they're in full bloom. They'll be doing blackberries about June. Blueberries will be starting in probably May. Strawberries will still be running by that time. Well, like I said, it's 80 degrees, and I mean the heat and the sunshine. It's definitely got some nice berries out here. So this was run over Saturday by the public. So we got crew in here picking stuff. We'll walk down and take a look at the blueberry plants that's on the other side of the ditch and the other strawberries fields. Well, these are the blueberries that were planted 2 years ago. And when we get them, they're about 3 foot high, 4 foot high. And they get cut all the way back to about 8 or 10 inches just to the main stem. These have been pruned pretty hard. We want a plant that'll probably be no more than 4 foot tall and about 3-4 foot wide. And if you compare this plant here to the ones we're picking this year up here, these great big things, of course, them things are 6-8 foot high and nobody can reach the berries anyhow. So doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So we're trying to go by the blueberry growers down in South Georgia that 4 foot high is where they like to keep them and keep them trimmed back real dense. Field over there for strawberries is the one that's open right, or was open this morning. Few people out here. Like I said, it is 80 degrees today. It is Monday. Now this weekend it was crowded as it could be, but the die-hard strawberry pickers are out here first thing in the morning, and then they're pretty much gone by lunchtime, and it's after lunch now. Well, they saved about 16 rows over here on this side of the field for you pick. Try to send people down here, and it's really hard, it's really discouraging to try to get them to go to that end of the field, but from this side up is what the crew has picked. They're out there now. They started the other way. They're halfway done that field today already. But there's plenty of berries this year. It's been fairly warm. The weather's been good on strawberries. Not a whole lot of rain. Disease has been real good. And the crowds are showing up, but we get a lot of rain on the weekends, which is kind of discouraging. I've had questions before on fertilizing strawberries and everything. Now, when we prepare the beds, we put down fertilizer based on watermelons or tomatoes or whatever, and that's 350, 400 pounds per acre underneath the plastic as we're bedding it up. This is the liquid fertilizer we use, which is just a 707. And what that does is, that's just a bulk tank. We put buckets full into this barrel. We have a little simple venturi right here. And what this thing does is, for every 100 gallons of water going out, it puts 1 gallon of fertilizer in. And in there we also mix boron and everything else. Soil leaf samples are taken every week on all the good plants and bad plants, everything else, so we know where we're at. And that gets sent off, and then we fertilize based on that information we get back. But we blast out this same liquid fertilizer to everything. And then if we're growing corn or something else, we can put more nitrogen, we can put everything else in we want. It's all liquid. It all goes in through the injection system. So we can kind of custom tailor what we're irrigating at that time. We just keep watermelons and everything on the same headlines. So we're doing nothing but watermelons, we're doing nothing but corn on one end, we're doing nothing but strawberries, so we can regulate the fertilizer easier. But that's all it is, minor elements and some liquid fertilizer and a whole bunch of sunshine, and kind of do it right. I mean, if you don't start out right, you'll never end up right. Well, that's it for this one. As usual, if I can ever help you or answer questions, don't hesitate to ask. Been kind of rough here this year. I mean, I know in the mountains it's been kind of cool and wet up there, and here we've been getting, they said, been getting rain every 3-4 days. I mean, I came down the road, and even the row crop farmers are just now getting in fields and just starting to plant corn, which should have been planted almost a month ago now. But can't do nothing with it. When the Lord gives you rain, you just got to deal with it until the mud subsides. But as usual, like it, share it, subscribe, tell your friends about it. I'll see you on the next one.